Given that you're in the business of AI and you are in the space of AI, what is the one AI myth you wish people would stop believing?
That AI will cost jobs. It will take away some jobs, but just like anything else, like electricity and computers, we will end up with far more wealth and far better distributed wealth than ever.
If you had to break down practical AI use cases for SMEs, things that they can adopt immediately without heavy investments.
So one thing I would advise is, before you jump into the tool, try and understand where are your pain points and what aspect, if done right, will give you the biggest bang for the buck, right? If you think about repetitive tasks that you have a human do, those are great examples of things that if you design your AI right, they can be taken up and done.
And what's the simplest way for a business owner to understand whether they are AI ready or not?
One way to answer that is, proof of the pudding is in the eating. If they try it and it works, then they can build more into it, they can invest more into it, so they can give them wait and see.
What should SMEs know about data privacy, data security, and responsible AI if they are implementing AI in their organizations?
So, data privacy is something that is an issue, is something for any IT-enabled, any data retaining company to be aware of. And in many ways, it's actually independent of whether they are using AI or not.
Welcome to the Do Big podcast by Tata Tele Business Services, where we decode how technology isn't just changing businesses, but reshaping how we think, work, and lead. Today, we are joined by Dr. Debarag Banerjee, Chief AI and Data Officer at L&T Finance, a leader at the forefront of using AI and analytics to transform financial decision-making at scale. He's someone who's been in the trenches, from academia to the boardroom, bringing the rigor of data science into the real world of business and business outcomes. Debarag, it's an absolute pleasure hosting you on the Tata Tele Services Do Big podcast. A big welcome today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So let's start with a quick, light, energetic icebreaker. Are you up for it?
Sure.
Okay. Given that you're in the business of AI and you are in the space of AI, what is the one AI myth you wish people would stop believing?
That AI will cost jobs. It will take away some jobs, but just like anything else, like electricity and computers and internet, we will end up with far more wealth and far better distributed wealth than ever.
That's fantastic. That's really good news to hear. I think most people are panicking about losing jobs. So thank you for reassuring people on that. What's the one task that you wish AI would automate for you, if it hasn't already done that?
Well, I think, keeping me on track. Just juggling my daily schedule, cleaning up my inbox, especially perhaps all the junk and this thing emails, and it's getting better. The AI copilots that get packed into emails. I have been observing that their kind of summaries are getting better and better over time, right? So it's probably moving in the right direction.
And what AI tool are you using to make sure that you're kept on track?
Okay, yeah. So we are, while we are multi-cloud, our productivity suite is G Suite. So basically, what I was referring to is when I saw the transition from Gemini 2.5 to 3, right. I could definitely see they're doing better now.
Okay. I remember a few years back, everybody was super excited about the metaverse, and I thought that was an overhyped trend. So I was just wondering if there was something similar there. if you think there's another trend which you think is totally overhyped, other
Yeah,
than
I think the trend of there is this thesis out there that we can do exact replica of workers with essentially digital twins of workers with digital twins of knowledge workers with AI, right?
right,
What some people call the AI co-worker agent.
correct.
So that would probably see its Gartner hype cycle a bit.
Okay, in today's day and age, I know not too many people. I think my age group reads a lot of books. But if somebody was really curious about AI, what is a book or a podcast that you would recommend?
So I don't know whether I'm uh, outdated or otherwise. I actually read tech blogs
Okay.
more than either podcasts or books. Partly because by the time you actually get around to publishing a book on AI, it's probably already outdated, right?
It's redundant.
so,
Absolutely.
so I'd say that there are a lot of there are a lot of kind of so-called AI influencers, but there are a handful that are fairly good, and more or less, if you look at your ex you know kind of threads and stuff that come to you, or LinkedIn, right?
Hmm.
Most of the time you'll get to get the alerts on the right right activities happening wherever, right? Like for example, when DeepSeek just it was probably day before New Year, right? That they released their GCM. I could
Yes.
see the chatter hype out a lot. So went to their blog, got their this thing and so on and so forth. So also follow the Meta AI blog,
Okay.
and DeepMind has quite a few announcements of what they are working on, so on and so forth. Um, uh, s- uh, so so basically, my recommendation would be follow the researchers that you like, and the labs and the companies driving them. So
Two labs that you really like. I heard DeepMind,
um, so
which is
one
the
would
other.
be AI at Meta, what used to be Fair, right? The one that Ian LeCun used to lead, and the other is DeepSeek.
Okay. Um, now that we've done that bit and had fun introductions with you, I'm going to jump straight into our conversation on AI. And I'm going to talk about AI for business transformation for a minute. And I'm just trying to understand what are the top 2 or 3 business problems where you've seen AI truly move the needle? Because there's been a lot of use
Yeah,
of AI for fun things, right? People
right.
have used it for a lot of fun things. But where does it really move the needle for businesses?
So I can't talk about all businesses, but let's say for us at L&T Finance, right? We are a B2C lender, and a lot of our lending happens to more or less the bottom of the pyramid and just a little bit further up in India. Uh, for example, somebody buying their first two-wheeler, look for a loan. Traditional signals from credit bureaus and all that are not usually sufficient. First of all, they're backward looking, and secondly, for a young country like India, you may not even have that much of footprint, even for somebody who would later on turn out to be a prime customer, to tell whether is he really going to be he or she really going to be a prime customer, or perhaps somebody at a much more economically vulnerable, or worse still, India being a relatively low trust society, it's not quite we want to lend you money to with the hope of getting it back. So for that, we built a whole series of models. A lot of it based on predictive AI. and those are deployed in a fashion where when applications are made, uh, whether it is for a two-wheeler loan, whether in the rural areas for somebody for a tractor, whether a small business owner looking to expand their business with a SME loan, and so on and so forth. The application, the particular kind of data points and the various multidimensional sources of data that we can gather on the person are all gathered in real time in the back end and run through our models, and a decision is done within 4 seconds. We have named this Cyclops, as in the one-eyed giant looking at everything. It truly moved the needle on our business, and I can see that it has created a much sharper razor where we can identify a better customer who is more likely to pay their loan back, and the confidence is such that as a result we can actually get them better terms, lower down payments and so on and so forth. And that is resonating in the industry quite a bit. We are not only seeing increased profit, we are also seeing growth as a result of the Cyclops engine. So that's a classic example of AI, along with, of course, use of non-traditional data, really move the needle in what used to be a very commodity business, the business of lending.
Correct.
Another area on the kind of other end of a loan, where in spite of your best efforts, you may have customers who are missing their deadlines, paying their EMIs and so forth. So there, we used to spend a lot of time and hours and money with human callers calling them up on the phone and trying to recover the money. Um, for a long time, the belief was that if we used a automated kind of voice bot based calling, the voice would be robotic enough that uh, people would not take it seriously, and so that would not help. Now, generative AI. So this is an example of a generative AI case. Has come to a point where it can generate text to voice, text to speech, as well as have an LLM at the back drive the conversation, where you can have a very natural sounding conversation with the right kind of latency, the right kind of intonation. In Indian languages, we have this live on 11 languages, and this is handling an increasing load of these outbound collection calls, and at a price point and at a level of availability that is quite staggering. So it's really making a difference in terms of our collection efficiency, our collection cost, and which ultimately translates to our ability to take credit um, to further reaches, where otherwise we would have been limited by traditional collection.
Interesting. And we often hear about the AI advantage. And when you think about AI and think about it and you think about it in tangible terms, uh, does it really always have to do with either higher productivity or cost saving or fast decisions, or are there other aspects of it which most people don't even realize?
So a few things. So if I think about it from how AI helps in terms of where it is moving the needle in a kind of a traditional lending P&L, right? So if you lend and the money comes back, you'll always be fine. That's
Correct.
the that's is a this thing, right? Now what are the things that eat into it? So there is the cost of credit, right? And so that credit loss part, the predictive AI, which can predict whether a customer is likely to go default or not, the one that I described, Cyclops,
Right.
is something where it truly moves the needle there, right? The other part then the is the collections cost, right? So there, like I mentioned, the voice thing, but more importantly, how you monitor your portfolio. So as time goes by, although it's the same person who took the loan, you get to see their true colors after they start paying back, right? And then those behavioral signals that you're seeing, those give you a deeper and deeper depth into sharpening your estimate all the way at the level of every individual customer, every individual loan, whether this particular customer is going to give you better returns, and hence somebody who you can cross sell, upsell other loans and other products to, or this is somebody who you want to put in a tighter collection bucket and those kind of. So that's an area that predictive aspect of things is something where AI is helping. And going forward, actually, we have some really big hopes as yet to be explored. So one aspect of that is what is that optimum portfolio, right?
Right.
Because you can't be completely risk free, right? Because then basically not making money, not paying returns on your money. And you can't go for all of the highest yield things out there, because then you're exposing yourself to the smallest of of disruptions, potentially wiping out a big part of the portfolio. So that optimization is very non-trivial and is very non-linear. It does not, lend itself to a clean convex optimization. And so there we are thinking about many both AI as well as quantum computing based optimization approaches. So that's another area. Then there is finally the productivity or let's say the OPEX cost of a loan, right? And that can be anything from the number of hours, number of days that your underwriters spend going to mountains of paperwork, making multiple phone calls and visits and so on and so forth, looking for clarification of whatever aspects before they are able to approve a loan. Now that is not only productive hours lost, um, but also from a customer perspective, that is that's turnaround time. And we have seen, for example, we recently showed the world a peek into our underwriting co-pilot. So this is something, there's an internal tool that helps our underwriters process through a lot of these mountains of paperwork sent as part of each application, and helps up and the AI parses it to a point where it says, okay, these are the things where you need the answers to. Here are the answers. I'm populating this for you. You can verify, say yes, or you can dig deeper. And oh, by the way, if you want to ask the customer a few more questions, here these are the main aspects. I'm giving you the questions, and you can then take it. It's already knocking out many hours from the chat, and we are hopeful that point. But we'll probably lead in certain segments um, in how quickly we answer back to customers. Hopefully with a positive answer, if not, at least a no. So that's about how it impacts the OPEX cost. And this is just an example. There are many, many other ways also that AI can help in this reasoning kind of things. Now, uh, in terms of non-traditional usages, as we went down this path, we realized that one of the interesting ways in which people aren't quite thinking about LLMs is that they are great at converting with the right context and with the right prompt and with the right data, unstructured data into structured signals. One example of this is there are let's say consider a dwelling, and you have some pictures of it. Either they're taken from the ground level and you see the front of the building, whatever, or these are satellite photos of the building and its neighborhood. Now there are latent signals there where if you look at them, you probably tell, oh, okay, this looks like a great, possibly possibly good house against whom which I could probably give a loan. Or when you look at the neighborhood, it looks like this is a pretty pretty unstructured, very dodgy neighborhood versus this is an area where I can see signs of affluence and stuff like that. Now, what we discovered is with the right kind of prompting, we can actually extract a score which is at least it is ranking the better versus the worst kind of buildings and neighborhoods, and we call this lifestyle index. Now that is then used in subsequent workflows and so on and so forth. But what is happening, which is a little unconventional here, is your input is unstructured data, which is images. Your output is a score, a structured single predictive score, right? So people think of LLMs only as generative, right? But at the end of the day, below all of that is the same kind of attention based neural network produced predictive output that is semi-supervised learned, right? So essentially, you can turn this around and you can, with very little development effort, very little um, uh, training and creation of bespoke models with deep learning structures and all that. You can take what is already existing and you can convert that into a predictor based on unstructured. So that's a thesis we keep building on, and we are seeing some.
So, this all happens with a large organization like L&T Finance. What I'm trying to understand is that a lot of SMEs still think that AI is expensive and complex. And what would your response be to that?
Well, I mean, you know, use ChatGPT, use this thing yourself, and I think people will get the hang of it pretty quickly. And this is based on some actual experiences. So even within L&T Finance, we are a large company with over 35,000 people. So one of the things I wanted to do is to democratize the access and usage of AI tools to pretty much everybody. And we did a number of enabling things, quick clickable, kind of catchy videos for people to get the hang of it and so on and so forth. And we have seen the just bottom up grassroots pickup of AI tools grow quite a bit, and people are getting real value from the anecdotal stories and use case presentations I've seen, where they're really kind of catching on to it and are finding innovative ways of at least getting a lot of their boring drudge work done by AI. That's very promising. I would assume similar things. The SME owners or SME workers, etc., can also do, because this does not take a whole lot of infrastructure, right? There are so many hyperscalers with models now. Of course, some of the models have paid plans, but they are pretty affordable plans. And if they hit the right spot where they can get the right answer from an AI, or a more well researched answer, let us say, and so on, so forth, that can help in what they're trying to do, then the output they're going to get is going to be sufficient for them to see value. So I would actually say it's opposite. I mean, used properly, AI is one of the biggest democratizing forces that there is in technology today. There's a trend in the valley, and I think worldwide, of a startup of one, right? Where you create an AI for a startup, because and a lot of the kind of boring non-core activities, right? Everything from creating your financials to invoicing your customers to making presentations for your customers, your board, your writing proposals and reviewing legal contracts and so on and so forth. There are AI first ways of doing it, which get it done in seconds, that otherwise would have taken time and money, and that really brings down the barrier for SMEs to then take that one core thing that is the raison d'etre of why they are in business, and then amplify their reach and amplify their impact without having to spend a lot on overhead. So in many ways, AI used properly in the right hands is actually a force multiplier for small businesses to take on bigger giants.
And what's the simplest way for a business owner to understand whether they are AI ready or not? Is it just willingness? Is it just, what is it that is the simplest way for them to know that they're ready for AI?
So, well, one way to answer that is, proof of the pudding is in the eating. If they try it and it works, then they can build more into it. They can invest more into it, so they can dip their feet and see. The other aspect is, at the end of the day, all AI runs on data, and data is one of the less talked about things in the world of AI. I often say that while amateurs talk AI, professionals talk data. So if you truly want to create value for your business, then you first need to ensure that your data is clean, it's complete, it's up to date, it's the right quality, it is findable, it is interpretable. Because only then can the right AI model run on top of it and give you answer. If your data itself is incorrect, if it is unclean, if it is full of holes, then at the end of the day, AI is just a predictive machine, right? It'll give you answers, but the answers would not be useful, and in the worst case, they may actually harm.
If you had to break down practical AI use cases for SMEs, things that they can adopt immediately without heavy investments.
So one thing I would advise is, before you jump into the tool, try and understand where are your pain points and what aspect, if done right, will give you the biggest bang for the buck, right?
What should SMEs know about data privacy, data security, and responsible AI if they are implementing AI in their organizations?
So, data privacy is something that is an issue, is something for any IT enabled, any data retaining company to be aware of. And in many ways, it's actually independent of whether they are using AI or not.